Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park is actually located on top of Iron Mountain and above Glenwood Springs. Right now I'm riding the Mine Wheel, and you can tell how amazing this theme park is by the incredible views that sit behind me. I caught up with owner Steve Beckley about this theme park and those historic fairy caves.
So we're basically in one of the main arteries of the park. You know, as we're walking through, you know, the old-time photo and the trading post.
Steve, tell me about the history of the historic fairy caves.
Wow, there's such a long history of this place. You know, it was discovered years ago in the late 1800s by Charles Darrow, and he was up here exploring the land. He had done a mining claim, and they found a small opening and crawled through and found this magnificent cave. And a few years later, after some development, in 1897, he opened this cave up to the public, and it was unique because it was on top of a mountain. Glenwood was just up and coming with the new hot springs, and the train was bringing tourists in. And he had a built-in tour guide staff of his 16 kids. So they would bring people up in burros and wagons up from the Hotel Colorado up to the cave and give them tours to the cave. But one of the unique things that happened was this was one of the first caves in the whole world to be electrically lit. You know, Westinghouse brought one of his hydro plants in and created electricity. They ran wires up to the property and actually lit the cave electricity. So where most people in the United States didn't have power or electricity in their houses, they would come and see this cave tour that was electrically lit with these Edison bulbs. In 1960, a couple Colorado cavers came to the cave and was just exploring, and that time there was only about 1,000 foot of passageway that was known, and they pushed through a small hole in the back and found these magnificent, huge rooms, about another mile of cave, and decided, wow, we should do something with it. So they bought the land from the Darrow family and was going to commercialize it, and they just never got around to it. And I was in college at Colorado School of Mines in 1980 and 1982. I started calling him and saying, I'd like to get involved, and I would call him and write letters to him once a year to try to get him to sell me the property. And 16 years later, in 1998, he finally decided to sell us a property. We put a new tunnel in and lit the cave and opened up the new passageways and opened it up to the public. And after 82 years of being closed, we reopened to the cave in 1999 and started giving cave tours of this historic cave. You know, 1998, when we came up here, first of all, the cave was about a mile long that we knew of. Currently, we're at about 3.5 miles. So we've discovered another 2.5 miles of new passageway that has lakes and big formations and 120-foot tall ceilings, just an amazing cave system. One of the premier cave systems in the United States. This cave is formed differently than most caves. Most caves are formed from groundwater coming from the surface. This cave was formed from hydrothermal water coming deep from the earth. And it's basically the same water that's in the hot springs down below right now. So this hot water would come up into the limestone and eat away the weak limestone and leave these big, massive caves. But it also brought in wonderful coloring because of the mineralization, which differs us from other caves because most of the caves don't have this high mineral content. And you know, we just started envisioning that we had this beautiful property with these great views, but we brought people up and they couldn't stay. They just had to go in the cave and then we took them back down. So that's why in 2003 we elected to put this mile-long tram system that would bring people from the base down in Glenwood up to the top of Iron Mountain. So then we realized that people were coming up, and we had a lot of people coming, and the wait to get in the cave tour was 3 hours long. So like, well, if they're here waiting, we might as well put some rides in or something. So that's when we started actually adding rides. When we were designing the park, we don't have a lot of flat land, so we have to design things that fit our topography. So the Alpine Coaster there's almost a mile of track. It winds you down through the trees. The Giant Canyon swing, we actually take a normal swing that's on hydraulics, and we swing you out over a 1,300-foot cliff, and you can be looking down 1,300 feet. And it's an amazingly scary ride. People love it. It's one of our most popular rides. You know, we always are looking for the next big ride that we can put in, and this we're designing Well, we haven't named it yet, but it's going to probably something like the Haunted Mine Ride. And we're actually blasting a 150 foot shaft into the solid limestone rock. And we're going to be putting a drop ride in there where you'll go into a building and you'll sit in a seat and we'll do a show. And while you're focusing on the show, we'll take the floor away and then we'll drop you down this shaft in the darkness 150 feet.
This is also a year-round resort.
That's correct. So about 8 months out of the year, we keep most of the rides open, you know, but in the wintertime, we are on top of a mountain at 7,100 feet, so we do get some snow. So we limit the rides that we open in the winter, but we're open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We put 500,000 lights up here, so it's all lit up and colorful and festive. And we keep a few rides open, which one of them is our Alpine coaster. So you can imagine it's like a big luge. You're winding down to these big snow banks. It's kind of like you're on your own luge going down a mile of track. We keep open the laser tag and the 4D theater, and the restaurant's open. And we have fire and s'mores and, you know, different stuff for the family to do. So it's a great place to come up and see the lights of the city, see the stars, have a wonderful meal, and ride some rides. First of all, I have to say that I feel very lucky. I'm very fortunate that Pete Preble, the original owner, actually sold me the property, and I'm very fortunate that people appreciate what we've built and are coming here. And you know, we take 100% of the profit and we put it back into the property. So that's why we're always building new rides or making it better, or because it's, you know, it's not really about making money. It's about making this incredible experience for families up here. And so that's what really drives me. So I'm really proud of what we've done. We've made a place in this world where there's so many electronics and video games and things to do that it just take the mind off of each other. We've built a place that people can come and reconnect with their family and spend some quality time together building memories. And that's really important to me.